We've been getting a lot of interest from our members of recent about cybercrime. As you know yourself, it's been in the press a lot recently, it's been in the news, and we've had some of our members have been caught. In fact, research has shown that 42% of our members have had in the last 12 months an experience of cybercrime of one form or another. And we've worked out that it costs a small business approximately £4,000 to get over a cybercrime. So there's a cost there. And a lot of small businesses maybe don't have the sophistication of the larger organisations to handle these threats. And we thought it was very important, with all the publicity that's around at the moment, that we brought two experts here today to help to impart their knowledge and their wisdom and obviously advice on how to combat these threats that are coming over every day.
Cybercrime is basically the ability for individuals or a group of individuals to steal something from you, be it data, be it your personal information, to then obviously obtain some form of identity fraud, or actually steal information from you to borrow money from your bank accounts or borrow corporate espionage type data. So it's the ability for individuals to borrow from you.
Small business has the issue, of course, of not having the sophistication of the larger companies. They wouldn't have the same IT departments, they wouldn't have the same expertise. A lot of them are one-man, two-man bands, and they don't have the resources. We can help them with that, being members. We do have the resources, we do have the knowledge, we do have the networks, and today, as an example, by bringing these two top experts in this particular field along, those sort of things that we can do on a regular basis. That cybercrime is one issue. We have other issues as well that we can bring up and bring them to our members on a monthly basis, whatever they require.
If you recently dealt with an organisation and they send you an email, there's a possibility that they may have been hacked, but it's really when you get an email from somebody that you haven't spoken to for such a long time, or some kind of link, you know, you go to a web page and they say, oh, could you prove your identity? And you end up putting in your username, your password, and then they ask you for your credit card details. Well, organisations won't do that. So it's just a question of being aware that, you know, if people are asking you for information, it's not full passwords, it's a couple of characters, and just try and make sure that you actually listen to what they're asking for and don't give them more than they've asked for, which is really what they're after.
I've experienced it, funny enough, in the past 6 weeks on 2 occasions where we were attacked the same thing twice, and they were trying to pretend that they were me and trying to fox a member of our staff to do something which could have been very damaging to our company, in fact quite damaging, and it was to do with transferring money. I think everybody today in this room, from one way or another, has been affected.
It's kind of like a proper recipe, so you just follow simple things. So, you know, you buy a computer or a laptop or a tablet, you make sure that you apply all of the updates from the manufacturer or the operating system, and then you have some form of security software. And it's kind of split into logical, physical security, where you protect it, logical with the software, and then it's pretty much down to you, to be honest. It's genuinely, a lot of stuff is common sense. If you look out the door at night and there's a guy with a gun, you're not going to open the door. So if you get an email from somebody you don't really know, why would you click on it? But people do. So it really is to think about what you're actually doing.
Cybercrime has come to the fore. It's a tier 1 threat for us now, and the PSNI have developed a cybercrime centre specifically to deal with the threat of cybercrime, and that's against business and industry and also individual members of the community. But we've developed the cybercrime centre and we're investing a lot of money, training and resources into dealing with cybercrime because it is such a threat now.
If you follow the simple rules of making sure that you protect yourself, and you use the simple rules like never buy anything on the internet without a credit card. People say to me about PayPal accounts, and they can actually use PayPal accounts. I've never found PayPal to be as good as paying by credit card. And people say, well, I use my debit card. Well, it's not a credit transaction. So if you use your credit card and you pay, then you are bound by the Consumer Credit Act and you can get your money back. But certain little things is, when you go places, it's like cost versus consequence. Don't automatically go for the cheapest. Look at the website, make sure that they've got a phone number, that they've got an address, and should there be any issues, you have ability to contact them. Because I can ignore an email address and he'll never talk to you. And then make sure that when you do pay for anything on the website, that it's a secure connection. So just right-click somewhere in the website, check the properties and make sure it's an encrypted connection, which basically means that what I'm saying to you now is English, but when I actually said it to you encrypted, I'd be talking gibberish. Honestly, if I'm a cyber criminal and I'm interested in you, I'll attack you. Everybody's vulnerable. So if I have the ability to think that you've got something I want, it doesn't really matter what business you are, because people say to me that I've lost my, I'm not bothered about credit fraud or whatever. I said, well, people will steal your identity. And they said, well, I don't have any money. I said, but you have a good credit rating, which means that I can then pretend to be you and borrow money on your behalf, which will basically ruin your life for many years to come. So you just need to be very careful that what you do is what you want, and just be overcautious. If people are asking you too much information, don't give it to them, and don't give people too much information, because I'm building a picture about you. If I know your name, where you live, your mother's maiden name and your date of birth, all of which people randomly put on Facebook, I've got a good picture of who you are and then know how to attack you.
We'd ask members of the community, if they become victims of cybercrime, to report to the police, and they can use the non-emergency telephone number 101. But we'd also ask business and industry, if you're being targeted by cybercrime, you can go onto the PSNI website and report direct to the Cybercrime Centre, so we can deal effectively what's happened to your business and industry.